Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk to you about a destructive pattern that a lot of people have and that we absolutely need to recondition it and reframe it. It's called the destructive pattern of performance. You probably have this thinking that you need to perform, or you want to perform, or you have some standard that you want to achieve, or maybe objective that you want to achieve, and maybe expectations of yourself that you want to achieve, right? You know, you want to do and create something, and you have that standard and that vision that you want for yourself. You may start your day with this expectation of yourself. Sometimes some people will say, well, it's not necessarily my expectation, but it's the team expectation, or it's the business or the organization expectation. Yes, absolutely, organization, we do have expectations and productivity expectation. That's the way it is. If we're not productive and we're not efficient, we're going to lose our clients, basically. They're going to go elsewhere, because as customer, that's what we want. We want, when we deal with an industry, we want them to be performant. Right? We want them to be able to respond to our needs, to fulfill our needs. So we have that as an organization. We have to be performant. We don't have a choice. This is the way it is. Now, when we at the end of the day, when we had this expectation of ourselves, and at the end of the day we didn't actually succeed, or we didn't succeed in the objective that we had, how do we react about ourselves? Do we have a tendency to critique ourselves and look at what was wrong with me today, or what happened that was wrong, or to critique the way the outcome, you know, to critique ourselves in the outcome? I was not able to do that. Outcome again, I was not able to. Do we have a tendency to be really hard on ourselves? What does that create, this way of being hard on ourselves? It creates doubt, because at some point we doubt our capacity, we doubt our competency, we doubt our skills, and we go into, and that's where people will say, well, sometimes I lack confidence. The confidence and doubt doesn't go together. You either doubt yourself or you are confident about yourself, because confidence is a state of mind. And then at some point, when we are into that pattern, we scratch the self-esteem of ourselves. The self-esteem is the part of ourselves that is composed of our values and our attributes and characteristics, and the things that we know that we have, that those are our strengths, and we are clear about our strength and what we can do, and what we can do and what we want to do, versus what we're not necessarily good at, but we don't have the interest of developing that. So that's part of our self-esteem. But when we critique ourselves every time that we haven't performed up to our standard, and we doubt ourselves, and we feel bad about ourselves, so our self-esteem becomes low. We develop a low self-esteem. But because we are performers, we kick ourselves in the butt, and next day we want to work harder. That's what we say to ourselves: I'm going to work harder. But what is working harder? Is it necessarily working longer hours? Do we put more energy into our work? Or we have to change that pattern and look at it in a different way. So that's okay to have expectations, to start with objective, to have a goal that we want to achieve. That's perfect. Now, it's also possible that at the end of the day, or at some point at the end of a certain period of time, that we haven't achieved exactly up to our expectations. But instead of being critique about ourselves, how about that we look at what good happened during that process? What can I appreciate about my day? Okay, I had the intention this morning of doing 10 videos. I did only 8. Can I put myself down because I did only 8? Or can I be grateful that I actually did 8 good And yes, it took longer than I thought, or something happened that I had to take care of. No, I didn't get to 10, but I can appreciate that I did 8 good videos that I'm really proud of. And if, for whatever reason, I would not do 8, I would have done like half of it. It's because something happened, something that was not expected. So instead of, criticizing myself again and looking at what's wrong with me, if I look at it and say, well, what can I learn? Okay, something happened. What can I learn about that? How can I prevent it from happening again? Is it possible that I put something in place so that I prevent it from happening again? So I learn something. I can learn something about everything every day. So this way of thinking, instead of doubting myself, I can be proud of what I learn and what I can appreciate of what happens during my day. So I can be proud. And there's things that because I learned things, so it's possible that this process, it was a hard day, it was difficult. Maybe I learned that I needed to prepare myself a little bit more so that I don't have to repeat, the video 10 times. Maybe I learned that, there's a tool that will help me to go a little bit faster or be more efficient. Whatever I learn, nobody can take that away from me. So every single day that we progress, we acquire knowledge and skills. Every single day. It doesn't need to be huge. You don't need to be in a formal training to learn something. You learn something every day. You just need to be aware of what's happening. So then I can ask myself what I can be proud of. So everything that I appreciate about that day, everything that I learn about, no matter what situation occurred during that day that I didn't expect, but still I learned, I can be proud. And then it does increase and solidify my self-esteem. So then tomorrow, I don't need to work harder. I just need to work differently. And I can ask myself, what's my intention tomorrow? What's my intention? What do I want to put into perspective and put into work so that tomorrow I'm going to have a different day? You see, I use the analogy that our life is like a book. If you would read a book and every single page would be exactly the same as the page before, and then page after page it's exactly a copy and paste of the page before, you would be bored, right? But some people, that's how they live their life. It's a repeat of the same thing over and over and over from one day to another. Einstein had said a while ago that the definition of the craziness is that to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have a different result if you are repeating exactly the same pattern over and over and over and over again. So if you want your page or your day to be different than yesterday, don't copy and paste. Just learn. Start your day with a blank page, and you create your day by starting with first acknowledgement, like appreciation, gratitude. What can I be grateful and thankful for? And then what's my intention? What do I intend to do today? And then you finish your day by evaluating it in a conscious way. What did I learn? What can I appreciate? What did I learn? What can I be proud of? And what can I, take away from today? That tomorrow will help me to create a better day. That's all we ask people, to have a mindset of evolution, progression. It's one day after time, one day at the time, and then today it's better than yesterday. And tomorrow is going to be better than today, because today I'm going to learn something that I will apply for tomorrow. And that's how we progress in life. And that's what we want in our team. If everybody in a team would have this mindset, how we would feel that we absolutely move forward. We don't go backward. We move forward all the time. Make sense? So that's what I encourage you to do, to think about it. Because that's, I expressed before, we have to start with ourselves. Because if you have that negative pattern in yourself, negative performance pattern in yourself, obviously when you're going to talk to people, whether as a leadership position or being a leader in your department, you're going to use the same pattern towards others. Meaning that if they don't perform up to your standard, you will critique them. You will at some point maybe doubt them that they can or they cannot do the work according to your expectation. And then at some point, it will lower their self-esteem by the way you talk to them. And they will feel bad about themselves. And they will try the next day to work harder. But it doesn't mean that it's going to work and it's going to be up to your standard. And if you start to critique them again, you will doubt them at some point, and they will feel bad about themselves. And this is not, it's just a vicious circle. So we want to change that pattern and be conscious, a performance with awareness. I want to appreciate people. I can look at what they've done good, can appreciate people. I can help them learn and ask them the question, what did you learn? So good. So it didn't go exactly as you expected. Fine. That's okay. Mistakes does happen. That's how we learn. What did you learn? You can be proud of that. And then tomorrow we're going to use what we learned. We're going to apply it for a new day. So what you don't do for yourself, you're not going to be able to do it for others. So think about that. Be aware of that. Very, very, very important. Talk to you next time.